You know, some days vibe coding, it just doesn't work. And most people can't tell you why. But here's what I can promise. If you follow one simple rule, fast, big, new, pick two, those mystery failures stop. You'll know exactly what went wrong every single time. Now, you might have seen a triangle like this before. It's called the iron triangle, which demonstrates that speed, cost, and quality are connected. If you push on one, the other two push back, and you can never max out on all three. For example, think about like a typical renovation project. Fast and cheap, your cabinets are falling off in a year. Cheap and good, it takes 8 months. Fast and good, you gotta pay for it. It's expensive. Vibe coding has its own triangle. Fast, big, new, same concept and law. You can only pick two. Never all three. Let me give you an example about my kids and their cleaning. When I ask my kids to clean a big mess in the living room, a room they've cleaned 50 times and they've done it before in the past, it's always fast. It's a big mess, it doesn't matter. They know where everything goes because they've done this exact job over and over. When it's a job that's fast and big, it works because it's not new, it's familiar. AI is kind of the same way. It's pattern matching. And so when the job looks for something it's done 10,000 times, then size barely matters. And so this is the corner every headline lives in. It's the massive migrations. The AI rewrote our whole code base stories. I mean, even I quoted one of those headlines in my last video. And that's the thing. Nobody wants to write a headline about AI needing 14 tries to fix a single button. That's not what sells. You only ever see the highlights. So when your project collapses, what's the conclusion you come to? It's usually, I'm the problem.
But don't forget, you're most likely comparing apples to oranges because you're working on a different side than those in those headlines.
Let's go to the second combo. It's a small mess, but a brand new spot. And in this scenario, it could still be reasonably fast. Sure, it's unfamiliar, but it's small. It's tiny, and they can hold the whole job in their head because it's fast and new, but it works because it's small. And that's kind of similar to like your first hour with Lovable. It's an empty project, nothing exists yet, and it's pure magic and sorcery. Now here's where I need you to pay attention. The third combo is big and new. Now let's talk about my garage. It's a big mess. I suck at organizing it. My kids don't know where things are, and to be honest, they don't even know what half the stuff is. It's a slow, painful death for everybody involved. And so therefore, big plus new, there's no amount of wanting it fast that's gonna make it fast. And so in software, that's the complex feature that touches everything in the domain that AI has never seen. Your weird custom UI, your invented yesterday product idea. And that's where Lovable starts charging me more for less. The app didn't get worse. My asks got bigger and newer at the same time. So be honest with yourself for 1 second. The thing you're building right now, which two are you asking for? And for some of you, you're probably asking for all three, and that's the trap. If this triangle just explained the last month of your life, hit that like button so it reaches the next person before their garage eats them alive. All right, so this brings me to the most important part. When you demand all three, vibe coding doesn't fail loudly. It fails later. All right, so back to my kids. If I demand from my children that the garage is cleaned in 1 hour, I know exactly what I'm getting. They might be able to organize 1 or 2 things, but after that, they're gonna get overwhelmed and just pile everything in the closet. Once the room looks amazing, I inspect it and it looks great. I'm happy, they're happy, everyone's happy. And then let's say 3 weeks later, I go in the garage, I'm looking for my hammer. I'm like, where is it? I open the closet, the whole thing comes down. I can't find anything. And you know why? Because I didn't pack it. I don't even know what's in there. So AI does the exact same thing with code. If you rush it past its breaking point, it won't say no. It just shoves complexity where you can't see it. The demo's gonna work and it will ship. Everyone's happy, but the pain shows up way after. If a customer hits a bug or you ask for one more feature and the whole thing comes crashing down. And now I'm debugging a closet somebody else stuffed in the dark. And that's the difference between a mistake and a trap. A mistake will punish you right away, but a trap is gonna wait. So stick with me here. The next part is the stuff that nobody will teach. It's the whole reason this channel exists, and if that's the path you're on, please subscribe. For years, test-driven development was that thing everybody praised, but to be honest, nobody did. And the reason for that is because writing those tests up front, it kind of sucks, to be honest. It takes a lot of time, a lot of discipline, and sometimes when you're on a time crunch, it's just not worth doing. But AI just changed that map. Writing tests is small, familiar, pattern-heavy work, which is exactly what AI is great at. So when it comes to tests, you should go as crazy as possible and vibe code the heck out of your entire test suite. And then let AI write the real code against those tests. And watch what happens. It writes something, a test fails, and then it fixes itself. This self-correcting loop is incredibly important and the biggest upgrade you can make. You're checking the closet before they say they're done. It verifies and validates. It is very common for AI to collapse on itself when the job is just too big to hold in its own head. So don't ask it to clean the whole garage. Ask it to clean like a shelf or a different corner. Break the problem into small enough pieces so that each one makes sense on its own. My practical tip is group things into 3s and 4s. Why? Well, for one thing, our brains have a limited amount of working memory. It's the same concept as you memorizing a phone number. You just can't hold any more than 3 to 4 chunks in your head at a time. And so if something you're working on has more than 4 pieces inside, you'd probably want to chunk it again. So how do you know when you've broken it down enough? I think the answer to that is if you can't explain what a piece does in one sentence, then AI probably can't do it either. So the exercise you should go through is making sure that you totally understand the different pieces and how they play together. Another benefit to that is if you have to debug, you'll know exactly which section broke because you at least have some surface level familiarity as to the different pieces of the feature that you're working on. All right, so imagine this. AI hands you this big plan before it builds. 40 bullet points of architecture. I read the first 4 and maybe I understood 2, and I'm just gonna assume it's smart enough anyway. So hit the approve button and see what happens, right? Why do I lack confidence? Because I've trained my whole life to never make mistakes and I can't show weaknesses or else my peers won't respect me and my parents won't be proud of me, my wife won't love me, nobody can know I'm just acting strong because I'm secretly scared of the thing I'm building. So do this instead. Ask it to simplify the plan. You don't need every detail up front, but you just need to understand the version you actually understand. And if the simple version is still complex, then that's not a small thing. That's the alarm bell that you need to hear. The cheat number 3 was violated and that the problem needs to be broken down further. Simplify and split until you truly get it, and then you can execute. So tell me in the comments the exact moment vibe coding broke for you. What were you building when everything in the closet fell down on you? Let me read every single one of those comments and it'll help me decide what to make next. And if you want to keep growing your triangle instead of renting it, subscribe. That's the whole project of this channel. And if you're wondering what coding job survives all of this, I made a video on exactly that. So click right here. See you in the next one.